The government has committed to a target of zero HIV transmissions in England by 2030. But this relies in part on identifying those who are undiagnosed and re-engaging with people who have been diagnosed but are not on treatment. The Elton John AIDS Foundation are helping to tackle both with the world's first zero HIV social impact bond programme.
Everyone thinks that HIV is a different sickness to diabetes or even COVID. People in the community will push you to the side. I was running from the clinic, they were calling me.
They were actually Dr. Kate Childs, a consultant in HIV medicine at King's College Hospital, and her colleague, Dr. Larissa Mulker, together leading emergency department testing and re-engaging people living with HIV who are no longer receiving treatment. Since the re-engagement programme for people living with HIV was launched in 2020, at least 700 people who were receiving treatment have been identified as having potentially abandoned this life-saving pathway.
The outcome of untreated HIV infection is universal. It results in death, and that's why we go to huge efforts to try and stop that happening. So the other person is this guy. I don't know if you managed to get hold of him.
Yes, yeah, I actually did yesterday for the first time.
We invite them back for a so-called wellness check, just to come and see us for a chat. People may be reluctant to attend. So essentially it's just detective work followed by contacting them by phone and trying to establish a rapport and encouraging them to come in.
Why do people stop taking treatment?
I'd say the reasons for this is that their lives are incredibly challenging. So often these are people who essentially live in poverty. They may have housing problems, family problems, they may have immigration issues, and all these competing needs means that HIV just falls off the list, especially if they're feeling quite well. Add stigma into this. Stigma is a massive, massive part of this. So people are desperately trying to conceal their HIV status from everybody they know.
11,000 people in the UK are either unaware of their HIV positive status or they know but are not having treatment. So the Elton John AIDS Foundation came up with the Zero HIV Social Impact Bond programme to get more people into care and change attitudes to testing.
What we realised was the thing that made the biggest difference was instead of exceptionally saying, I want to test you for HIV, which given the stigma, people go, really? What kind of assumption are you making about me? If you say, we test everyone for HIV because this is a high HIV prevalence borough, the difference in uptake of testing is massive.
Why do you think an opt-out approach helps to destigmatise HIV?
So when we use an opt-in approach, what we're suggesting is that HIV testing is exceptional and only something that's needed for certain types of people. And we know that's wrong because people of all ages, ethnicities and backgrounds can have HIV. So with an opt-out approach, we're trying to normalise HIV testing by making it part of the routine blood set anyone would have when they come to the emergency department. And we think this is important as now HIV is very manageable and treatable. Every person should have the opportunity to know their HIV status and the opportunity to access care.
A carefully managed treatment plan is put in place once someone has tested positive. Default HIV testing not only finds more people who are unaware of their status, but also means reduced costs for the NHS.
If you find people who are living with HIV when they're well, it costs half as much as if you find them when they're sick. So we have fabulous champions in GP surgeries, in the emergency departments at hospitals. We're all so thrilled that we reached double the number of people we thought we were going to. And we really do feel it's a no-brainer as part of the arsenal to end new HIV infections in this country.